PreCure All-Stars F is finally on the silver screen in Japan. This gorgeous movie that is celebrating 20 years of PreCure is out. And even though we're not in Japan, we can still enjoy the hype of this iconic moment for the PreCure franchise. Hello everyone, it's Lel, and Magical Cinnamon was super lucky. We were able to talk to a huge, amazing PreCure fan who was on the midnight screen of PreCure All-Stars F, September 15. She was like one of the first people to watch this movie in a public showings of it. And we were able to talk and ask lots of nice questions about PreCure All-Stars F. We talked to Miluda, who is a huge PreCure fan, and she shared lots of information concerning the movie, and we're very lucky to be able to talk to her and also share her thoughts and facts about the movie here on Magical Cinnamon. Miluda, thank you very much for agreeing on doing this. So we are going to talk about what Miluda had to say about All-Stars F. Don't forget to follow Miluda on Twitter or X marks the spot. I love the Tinashe song. And Miluda is also sharing stuff about their adventures on PreCure events and also on Genshin Impact. Miluda loves Ayaka and Sara. Aya, Sara, amazing couple. I love them. And Ayaka is one of my mains on Genshin. So, you know, it's a great thing to me. But before we start, we have to make that special warning. This video is going to be full of spoilers. There's obviously lots of mysteries surrounding what happens in All-Stars F, and I don't want to be the one to spoil it for people that don't want to be spoiled. So, spoiler warning for basically the whole video, because we are going to talk about certain things that are huge, really huge in this movie, and we're going to disclose certain details about the plot. When the spoilers are bigger and heavier, I'm going to warn you before I start talking about them. But still, every information can be a spoiler because we're going to talk about certain things that are not explicit when it comes to the trailers. So, you know, every bit of information can be spoiler-ish. So if you want to keep your experience fresh and surprising, this video is not for you. And if you're watching this as excited as I am to share this information, please don't share the information with people that don't want to learn about them. Let's all enjoy PreCure, this lovely franchise, the way we can, and we are happy about it, but without, you know, ruining other people's way of experiencing it as well. So let's start. The first question I made, and I had to make this question, was about Cure Anje. I asked Miluda if Cure Anje used her shield in the movie and if her shield actually worked. And surprisingly, Miluda answered yes to both questions. She used the shield and yes, it worked. It did not break. Oh my god, I'm sorry, Cure Anje. But there always has to be a little shade towards her here. But yes, she used her shield and it didn't break. And there was also a scene in which all of the shield cures got together to use their shields. This is an All-Stars staple for PreCure already. And it's always like heartwarming to see all those shield cures together, working together with their shields. I cannot wait for this scene. And I also had to ask about my favorites from this movie, Ageha and Yukari. Ageha, Cure Butterfly, and Yukari Cure Macaron are in the same team, Team Butterfly, and I asked how their interactions were. But Miluda said that the glue from that team was actually Ageha. The team is composed of Ageha, Lala, Yukari, and Asumi, and Ageha was the glue from the team. Yukari and Lala disagreed on how to progress further, and Yukari ended up leaving the group because Lala didn't really consider her feelings. So Yukari ended up having lots of scenes with Lala than with Ageha. So Ageha's and Yukari's interaction did not stand out very much, to my heartbreak. And this issue between Lala and Yukari happened because Lala kept making decisions for the whole group and Yukari didn't really agree with them. Yukari ended up leaving the group And Miluda said it was kind of sad to see Yukari wander by herself in the snowy place that they were in. I'm gonna be heartbroken with this. I'm sure I will. And now let's talk a little bit about Cure Supreme. We also asked about Sakamoto Maya as Cure Supreme's voice actor. And Miluda said, she is a legend. Her performance as Cure Supreme, having a nice, deep, strong voice, was very enchanting. I quite like deep-voiced characters like Cure Finale, who was also in this movie. It's just my type. Maya Sakamoto has done way more than just voice acting, and it's wonderful to see her doing new voice acting work in PreCure. And we also asked what she thought of Cure Supreme's, or Prim, as a character. She said, I suspected that she was probably going to be the enemy in this movie. The reason for her being a PreCure was actually quite interesting, and it would spoil the move immensely if I shared it. I think I'll share the details in a later question. I did like how her character progressed and her relationship with Puka. We also asked about Cure Supreme's transformation scene. We could see a little bit of it in one of the trailers. And Miluda said that this movie was very particular because the only transformation scene we saw in full in this movie was Cure Sky's transformation. The others, we just saw little bits of it. And that's what happened with Cure Supreme's transformation as well. This movie was packed with so many scenes and callbacks to past seasons of PreCure, so they didn't spend much time in transformation scenes at all. And because there is a scene in one of the trailers with all of the leaders from the PreCure franchise before Go Princess PreCure, we also asked if they had voicing roles and if they had important roles in the movie. Miluda said that yes, they do have voicing roles and their roles are very important. They don't just appear for one last battle. And she also said that some of the past non-pink cures also spoke. Oh my god, this is very surprising and exciting, right? And she said there is a scene of Cure Mermaid with Cure Lemaire. She was very surprised with this scene, and I mean, our two mermaids from the PreCure franchise got together in a scene in this movie. I just cannot wait. We also asked of Notorio's cameos from past PreCure seasons. Do they exist in the movie? And she had this answer to give. We have Notorio's cameos of scenes from past seasons, and it's really good how they weaved into the plot of this movie. Being able to see those scenes again and also see the reactions of each character watching themselves in those scenes was really great. While they didn't have every cure voiced, each PreCure voice artist, the 78 cures, did write what they would do if they were a PreCure in their respective seasons inside the movie book. That's so amazing they were able to gather all the replies. This is really something huge, and I'm very curious to see the characters watching themselves. This is mind-blowing. We also asked if she enjoyed the theme songs, and she said that yes, she did enjoy them, and that the songs that were used in the commercials sound even better in their full versions. She also stated that the movie starts with a huge fighting scene, and this scene had a different song. And also, past songs from past seasons were also used in the movie. Another question was about the 20 years of PreCure. How do you feel about this movie as a celebration of 20 years of PreCure? Which feelings do you think it conveys? And she said, if someone has watched only 1 to a few seasons of PreCure, they will get really spoiled by all the scenes that were included in this movie. I still think they can enjoy it and have it be a gateway into watching the rest of the series. But I really think this movie was made for the people who watched most PreCure seasons. It touches on your nostalgia of each season and is a really important reason why the PreCure exists in the movie. So it's very nice that the history of PreCure also makes a stand, and it's important to the plot of the movie as well. How cool is this? Another question was about the reaction of the other cures or characters about Elle's transformation into Her Majesty. And she said that there was no reaction because there was no scene like this, because when Elle transformed into Cure Majesty, she was with Puka. Another question was about the composition of each team from the movie. And we asked, were there any circumstances as to why the teams are composed the way they are? Each team appears to have at least one member that has some type of shield. And Miluda answered, while it's not explicitly answered, I think they each have some theme in common. Team Butterfly are characters who are considered older characters of their seasons. Lala is an adult on her planet. Team Sky are the main characters for the last 3 seasons with the movie character. Team Prism included at least one character that shared a season with Team Sky, and Team Wing included characters who appeared alone from their respective seasons. The only one who did not fit this formula was Cure Grace, and I think she was included because she was from 4 seasons ago and because of Puka. There's a scene where she touches Puka's paws, which is very reminiscent of how Healing Good is with their healing animals. That's just my opinion. Perhaps they may state it somewhere in a staff talk session or interview. What if they were the only voice artists available? We also asked about the animators, and we said, it is known at this time that Tanaka, Itaoka, and Yoshiyama, to name a few, are participating in the movie. Are there any other notable names that you recognize either in credits or from their animation style? And she said, it's funny, but I can only recognize the 3 of them really well. And yes, they were all in it. I can easily say that you won't be let down by the fight scenes or the fun times with the girls in this movie. Another question was about the inclusion of all the 78 cures. We asked if they all appeared, and she said that yes, but not only the 78 or 79 cures if we were counting Cure Supreme. Basically, all the cures appear. They included movie cures, cures that appear in only one episode, international cures from Happiness Charge, etc. It is a cure galore in this movie. They are present in All Stars F. All of them. And about other characters, like side characters from other seasons, did they appear as well? And yes, many side characters made an appearance. But the scenes flew by so fast, it was hard for Miluda to keep track of all of them. We're gonna have to watch this movie many times to be able to get it all in. Right? From now on, we're going to talk about Cure Supreme, who is an original character from this movie, a new cure, and has a very huge importance in the plot of All Stars F. So the spoilers now are going to be even bigger than before. Be warned. What are the circumstances of the birth of the new PreCure, Cure Supreme? The movie is about an ultimate enemy who actually defeated the PreCures once. The world was destroyed, including the PreCures. This enemy fought so many opponents, and the PreCure was so strong, so she wanted to better understand how they could be so powerful. She ended up emulating the PreCures by making herself Cure Supreme. Prime was her alter ego, but she is actually named Supreme. She also created her own mascot character, Puka. Then she recreated the world that the PreCures were from, so they are a mix of all the season's settings together. Supreme didn't bother to recreate the worthless people, so it was a world with just PreCures. Cure Supreme was already more powerful than the PreCures, so she already destroyed them all, plus the whole world. PreCures are the one who live off memories and hopes, which is why Sora and the others are able to somehow come back after being supposedly destroyed. They had things they wanted to do in their personal lives. Supreme was surprised that they could return at all and decided to just go with them to study any secrets that makes them strong. But all Sora's team did was fool around, so she understood them less than before. Supreme also created the ultimate bad guy boss while emulated being a PreCure. The ultimate boss was fake, and Puka was created as the mascot of Cure Supreme, so Puka had the same powers as Supreme. However, Puka was too afraid of the devastating powers. Puka and Supreme are supposed to balance each other, and eventually Puka does exactly that by the end of the movie. And there's another huge surprise. Puka becomes a PreCure as well. All of the past mascots who are able to turn into PreCures lend their powers to Puka, and Puka gets a human form and becomes a cure. I cannot wait to see that. So it's very wild to think that we're gonna have an enemy who is going to be able to defeat the cures once, but the cures are so powerful with their memories that they're gonna be able to come back. And this might be the reason why we only have a few of them. Only a few of them come back at this first moment, and they live in Supreme's world that she creates based on memories from the cures themselves. Miluda also shared some stuff about Sora and Mashiro, and they had lots of emotional moments in the movie. She said that Sora basically spends the whole thing thinking about Mashiro because they get separated right at the start. When they finally see each other, they get separated again. And remember that scene in the trailer that Cure Supreme said, the last PreCure? And we were all wondering what that meant. Well, that happened because she had defeated all of the cures. And Sora and Mashiro, or Cure Sky and Cure Prism, were the only ones left. They were described by Cure Supreme as the last PreCure. Some other nice tidbits. We asked if there was some sort of mention or dialogue because of Rabiding's and Cure Prism's voice actor is the same person, and there was nothing of that. And we also asked if there was some sort of reaction by the girls because Tsubasa was a boy cure, and Miluda said that his gender is not a topic in this movie. Also important to mention that this movie does not explicitly say what F means in the title. So we asked Miluda, what is your take on F? What do you think F means? And she said, I still don't know what F is supposed to mean, but it could be friendship, it could be fukatsu, which means revival, it could be final, meaning the last surviving PreCure, maybe it means fuwa, who knows? She also stated that there is an ending dance in this movie, even though half of the ending from this movie is not a dance. And in this dance, there is all of the main cures from every season in it. And also, at the end of the movie, there was an announcement of the 2024 PreCure movie. So yes, we're going to have another PreCure movie next year. Definitely, PreCure is not over. We're getting a season, we're getting a movie. PreCure lives on. F can also mean forever. This announcement of the 2024 PreCure movie did not have any particular details on it, apart from the text on the screen. It did obviously not mention any season name either. And last, we asked Miluda to share in a few words her impressions of PreCure All-Stars F. And this is what she had to say. It definitely was a 20th anniversary movie. I really loved seeing my favorite scenes from various seasons again. It was not a typical kid movie at all. They aimed this for everyone regardless of age. There were many good fighting scenes and the pacing worked well. The jokes were funny, the characters were so cute, and any problems they had among themselves were solved. It was just overall a feel-good movie. Maybe that's what the F is for. Miluda, thank you very, very much for taking your time to share all of this amazing story with us. Thank you for answering the questions. Thank you for sharing your feelings, your knowledge, and your love for PreCure with us. We here on Magical Cinnamon are very, very thankful. Thank you so much for also sharing details of events on your Twitter. It's always so much fun to follow because it's great. We're not able to be there, but we're able to be there a little bit in presence, sharing this with you and your posts. So thank you very, very much for this. And this just made me even more excited to watch All Stars F. I really want to see all the intrinsicies of the story. I really want to know more about Cure Supreme. And I forgot to share one thing. Cure Supreme and Puka at the end of the movie are redeemed. I mean, I don't think Puka needed a redemption, but Cure Supreme definitely did. So she is redeemed and she becomes friends with everyone. This is what PreCure is all about. It's a story of forgiveness. It's a story of friendship. All Stars F, thank you very much. We are celebrating 20 years of PreCure and we're very happy to be able to enjoy this franchise to the max. So thank you for giving us this present in form of a movie. We are very excited to watch it outside Japan as well. We're gonna wait our turn. Anyways, babies, this is it for now. Miluda, again, a special thank you. Thank you very much for sharing this with us. And I want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very much for your support. And if you've watched up channel, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.